Day 10 of the moments that define WrestleMania is here, Skeeter Moxley with you. Two things that I forgot to mention yesterday about WrestleMania 9. There was a match between Bam Bam Bigelow and Kamala that was supposed to take place, but it got canceled at the last minute without explanation. And the second thing is, aside from WrestleMania 6, where they were in Canada, obviously, this was the first WrestleMania where I don't think that they sang the national anthem. No wonder it sucked. But anyways, we move forward to 1994, and the year 1994 in WWE began rather controversially at the Royal Rumble, with Bret Hart and Lex Luger both winning the 1994 Royal Rumble. Who would get the title shot at WrestleMania? Obviously, they both did. So you had two title matches at WrestleMania 10. March 20th, 1994, from the home of WrestleMania 1, Madison Square Garden. But you have two title matches on this card. Yokozuna would have to defend against Lex Luger. And then the last match, Bret Hart would face the winner of the first championship match. And it would end up being Yokozuna because Mr. Perfect was pretty much put the screw job to Lex Luger. But WrestleMania 10, some of the moments in this one, again, nothing really noteworthy. Howard Finkel had a toupee. Doink the Clown was there. There was a 10-man tag that never happened until a couple of Monday Night Raws later. The President of the United States, not really. He showed up. Macho Man, still on a rampage. Same old WWE as it probably was at WrestleMania 9. But a little bit better and a little bit more noteworthy to talk about. Our top three moments, or in Squash of the Night. We finally have a squash. We haven't done it in a couple WrestleManias, but at this WrestleMania, Harvey Whippleman, Howard Finkel, they would start a rivalry, which would lead to a bunch of tuxedo matches. But Adam Bomb losing to the Earthquake in about 20 seconds. Nothing to say. Top three moments of this WrestleMania for me. Number 3, Bret the Hitman Hart. He had to pull double duty out of this WrestleMania. As I mentioned, he would face Yokozuna again in a rematch for last WrestleMania for the WWE Championship, and he would win with almost feigning a knee injury. All the faces coming out congratulating him in a celebration, with the exception of his brother Owen Hart, which would lead to my number 2 moment. Bret Hart having to pull double duty, wrestling for the WWE Championship, but in the opening match, wrestle against his brother in a rivalry that started at the Survivor Series and would definitely escalate over 1994 into some incredible matchups, starting with this one, Bret versus Owen. And it's fun to watch brothers wrestle each other because they have the same family, they have the same psychology, the same wrestling background, especially coming from the huge family, the Hart family. Stu Hart, obviously the patriarch, training his kids in the dungeon, and this showed, and this was an awesome opener for WrestleMania, with Owen Hart getting the clean victory over his brother, but in the end, Bret would get the last laugh, because he is the Hitman. And Bret and Owen would just have an incredible chemistry in the ring, and it would definitely show in the year 1994. I think that was rivalry of the year for sure, including an excellent cage match at SummerSlam that kind of goes disregarded, except if you talk to Bret Hart about it. And the number 1 moment and my favorite match of the night, the ladder match is born at this WrestleMania. Granted, there were a couple of ladder matches beforehand in Stampede Wrestling, and then there was one in the WWE, but this really set the standard for the ladder matches to come, and especially at WrestleMania, with the ladder matches that have come after this one. Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels had a rivalry going, both men claiming to be the real Intercontinental Champ. Both belts, the real one of Razor's and the bogus one of Shawn's, and I'm reversing what Jerry the King Lawler said prior to the match. One man would have to grab both belts and become the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. And this was Shawn Michaels' first of many big performances that would give him the nickname Mr. WrestleMania. But in the end, Razor Ramon picking up the victory and the Intercontinental Championship, and the two men would have a rematch with the ladders at SummerSlam '95 for the same gold. Only Shawn Michaels would be the real Intercontinental Champ that night and would take the dupe then. WrestleMania 10 was a little bit better than WrestleMania 9. It still sears, in my mind, Bret Hart winning the belt of the WWE Championship, Owen Hart coming out a little bit scorned, a little bit jealous. You could see him. You couldn't hear him, but you could see him mouth the words "What about me?" And I think Owen's rivalry with Bret Hart certainly kept him in WWE for the next 4 or 5 years until his tragic death in 1999. And since we're pre-taping this, since I'm on spring break right now, so I'm not here at home. I'm at my girlfriend's house. Rumors going around that Stu Hart could be in the Hall of Fame this year, in the WWE Hall of Fame, and it's about time, because sometime soon they gotta induct that entire Hart Foundation. Owen, Brian Pillman, British Bulldog, all those guys. Jim Neidhart, because they've already done it with Bret, and if they do it to Stu, then they gotta do it with the rest of the family. It's only fitting. Unless they're saving it for a WrestleMania in Canada in a couple of years. With that in mind, though, tomorrow WrestleMania 11. I should forewarn you, another crappy WrestleMania on the way. So I saved you some minutes, and we'll talk tomorrow. Skeeter Moxley. The moments that define WrestleMania continue.